You're on Sunrise Radio with me, Shabnam Sahi. It gives me great pleasure to say a big warm welcome to Vanessa Sandhu, who's a GP. She's a hospital doctor. She's a spokesperson for CRY, which is a charity that does some incredible stuff. Cardiac risk in the young. Vanessa, welcome to Sunrise.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Now, Vanessa, are you able to tell us a little bit about why you and your family first became involved with the charity Cardiac Risk in the Young?
Yeah, so unfortunately I lost my sister Natasha in 2018, which was obviously the most horrendous thing that could have happened to us. But through that process, the charity Cardiac Risk in the Young were incredibly supportive. So they offered us lots of help with understanding Natasha's post-mortem results. They were also able to offer screening for family members that may be suffering with a similar condition, and they also offered us a lot of bereavement support. So quite early on, I realised how supportive they were, and I just wanted to give back to an organisation that I really believed in. I mean, in addition to that, they're actually the only charity in the UK that are dedicated to trying to prevent sudden cardiac death in the young. So I just became really passionate about trying to hopefully help other families not go through the type of pain that we had to go through. So it just became a natural fit, something that I really believed in.
Absolutely. It was a deep personal loss that led you to the charity, and I know that you've done some incredible work. You've done some fantastic fundraisers. How did you get your family and friends together, get the community together, and how did you actually help raise these funds and the awareness, the much-needed awareness for the work that CRY does?
Yeah, so, I mean, I have to say, actually, my friends and family have been such a support to me when I was obviously at my lowest, and they were the ones that really taught me that in the face of something so horrible that's happened, that we really must try and see the positives and do something positive. So, you know, my family and friends started quite small with, you know, doing lots of cake sales at schools and at work, and doing lots of charity walks and charity runs, which the Cardiac Risk in the Young page helped to facilitate. But in addition to that, I think you're all probably familiar with my brother-in-law, Arjun, a singer and a songwriter. And, you know, he really wanted to do something incredible in his late wife, Natasha's name. So he put together this charity concert called For Natasha, and he was able, with his team, to bring together lots of the big names in the Asian music industry from around the world. And actually, they were Arjun's friends, but also they were Natasha's friends, so they all really wanted to get involved and pay their respects to Natasha. So it became this incredible evening. It was a room filled with love, and we were all sort of talking about memories of Natasha and just celebrating her life and trying to bring some positive energy to what happened. And most importantly, we were able to raise obviously lots of money and awareness for the charity. So I think we were able to hopefully bring some positive to the tragedy that had happened to us.
It was a concert dedicated to Natasha's memory, and you not just celebrated her beautiful life, but you also were able to raise awareness and raise much-needed funds for this charity, Cardiac Risk in the Young. Now, Vanessa, let me ask you this, not as a GP, I'm not asking you this as a doctor, but as someone who lost her beloved sister. How important do you feel it is for siblings to be offered specialist support if they feel they need it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, firsthand, I've had to struggle with this, and you know, obviously anyone that is struggling with bereavement finds it incredibly difficult. But the trouble with the sibling loss is not many people talk about it, and I think that's probably because people just don't understand it. Not many people have had to go through such a thing, and often, you know, the bereaved sibling might be quite young, so young members of the family don't know how to vocalize their thoughts and emotions. And then on top of that, you then don't have anyone else that even vaguely understands what you're going through, and you don't have anyone to talk to. So for these people, it's so important to know that there are organizations out there that you can reach out to, and you can talk to people that might be feeling the same things that you are, and just to know that you're not alone.
Now, Vanessa, you're a GP, you're a doctor, your beautiful sister was a GP. Why do you think it's important for young people to have their hearts screened? And what tests are actually used as part of the CRY screening program?
Obviously, as you said, we were both doctors, and even then had no idea that she had this. So it just shows how hard it is pick up these conditions. And unfortunately, people often don't have any symptoms of these conditions until it's much too late. So the only way we can actually pick these conditions up and try and save lives is by screening them. So it's so important to get screened, especially if there is a family history of any type of sudden death in the family. Just contact the charity to get screened. The main thing to understand about these tests is that they're non-invasive. So they're super quick, they're super easy, they're not painful in any way. So it's nothing to be intimidated by. And the team's really friendly and they can talk you through the process. So it's something that we should really all be thinking about doing.
Vanessa, thank you so much for your time. Any last thoughts on what we've spoken about? Anything you'd like our listeners to know?
Yeah, just, thank you to everyone for their support that they've shown to our whole family. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I've got a new project coming up called At the Doctor of Happiness, which is dedicated to mental health with particular focus on bereavement. So everyone check it out and I hope you'll find it helpful.
Fantastic. I was in conversation with Vanessa Sandhu, who's a GP. She's a hospital doctor. She's a spokesperson for a charity that does some incredible stuff for young people, Cry Cardiac Risk in the Young. And just to remind our listeners, should you need more information on the work that Cry does, please log on to c-r-y.org.uk/Sunrise Radio. Vanessa, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you for having me.